to, first of all, want to wish all my American friends a wonderful 4th of July or Independence Day. I trust that your day is going to be absolutely wonderful. Now, I know that right now in America, there's all kinds of chaotic things going on. And I want to remind you today that we are praying for your country, for your leadership, and also as well for your benefits and blessing today. Now, today I want to talk about how that two people are meant to move through life, or no two people are meant to move through life in the same way. No two people are the same. Now, there's lots of folks out there who look the same, but I guarantee you are not the same. And I want to remind you today that you are unique. There is no one like you on this planet. For example, no one has the same eye print. No one has the same fingerprint. You are one of a kind. And so you need to recognize that. I know that today there's a lot of pressure for conformity, and people are trying to, put you in a box or put you in a hole or a round, a square peg in a round hole, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot of that going on. And that has always been going on. There's always somebody trying to make you into something that you're not. And you need to resist that. You see, the simple fact is, one person will find joy in a room full of voices, and another feels most alive in the quiet. It just means that they have different aspects when it comes to environment. For example, my wife, she just absolutely thrives when our grandchildren are here and our children are there, and she is most alive when the room is absolutely packed. Now, me, I enjoy, for example, walking out in nature. For example, last night I tried something a little different. I take my dogs out for walks every night, right after dark. And so last night, as it was twilight, I jumped on my 18-speed bicycle and took my Labrador for a big ride around the town. And we had a wonderful time. Of course, I enjoy, the quietness of nature. I love going to the mountains and spending time, enjoying creation. My wife, however, enjoys being with lots of people. Now, that just makes us uniquely different. We're moving through life in a different way, and it's the same way with so many different people. You're not going to be the same as someone else. Everyone doesn't have the same likes, the same skills, the same ability. It doesn't make you, it makes you unique, one of a time, of a kind, and you should enjoy who you are. One says, for example, hey, I feel it right away. And there are lots of people who walk with empathy and sympathy and see things and feels things right away. Yet for another, they need time before the words come. And it's not because they are, in any way not concerned, but they feel it differently. People react quickly, and other people take time to react. And neither way is wrong. It just means that we are one of a kind, and that's okay. And you need to get comfortable with who you are. Now, if you happen to be in those who am I times, you need to sit back and just relax and think about who you are becoming. Because remember, time and experience, of course, are the greatest teachers. You will find who you are over time. It takes, for example, I was having a chat just recently with a young man, and he said, it took me until I was almost in my 30s before I recognized what I was becoming. not what I am, but what was becoming. He says maturity for some people come very early, and maturity for other people come a little bit later. Either way, it will come. And the simple fact is, we are unique. No one is above and no one is below. We're just simply people. And as one great philosopher said, people's is people's. I saw that from a Muppet movie. There you are. So, what are we trying to do? We're just trying to live in a way that feels true to us. But the one thing that I do encourage you to do is walk with transparency, walk with a sense of purpose, walk in love, walk in kindness, and especially treat people the way that you would want to be treated. That is called the golden rule. And when you do that, you'll discover very quickly that you are walking true to yourself. Forgiveness is a wonderful quality that not only do you give yourself, but other people as well. Forgiveness is, of course, when you decide that you're going to let go of a hurt or an offense and you're going to just let it go. And some people say to me, well, you don't know what they did to me. You're absolutely right. But I do know what they're doing to you right now. They're holding you captive. So let it go. Forgive people. Let go of the offense because it's more important to walk in peace than to walk in revenge. And that is really what it's all about. Remember the story John Wick and how that, all the things that he goes through because he can't let go of the revenge. Well, the simple fact is you need to let go of the revenge. Need to let go of the hurt, the bitterness, and the unforgiveness. You're different from people. I understand that, but never hold on to something that's going to destroy you. We're simple, different people trying to live in a way that feels true. And so the simple fact is live, of course, find out who you are. That's your job. And then find that path of peace. And when you find that path of peace, you're going to live true to yourself. Like I said, no two people are the same. We are unique. And because we are unique, there is a really special purpose that each one of us, no one can do what you can do. No one can touch your world like what you can do. My encouragement is today, of course, to decide to be a blessing. Decide to do the little things that are going to touch people's lives. And you know what? Every single moment will become beautiful because you are beautiful and unique. I want to close with a little story that kind of emphasizes what I'm talking about. Years ago, Wayne Gretzky was living in the city of Edmonton. And he was involved with a beautiful young Edmontonian girl whose name was Vicky Moss. Now, Vicky Moss had a brother, and this brother was Down syndrome. He was a very, very nice young man. And this young man basically became the equipment director for the Edmonton Oilers. And he was so enthusiastic. He went to every game and he helped out with the team. And then later on, the Edmonton Eskimos asked him to be part of their equipment management team. So not only was he at every Edmonton Oilers game, but he was also at every single Edmonton Eskimo game, the football team. And he was involved in these teams long after Wayne Gretzky had been, traded to Los Angeles. He stayed on. His name was Kenny Moss. And Kenny passed away about 4 or 5 years ago. He had become a symbol of the, you know, of the enthusiasm for sports in that city. And when he passed, people were remembering him. On the radio, they actually dedicated a whole radio program to Kenny. And people phoned in and they talked about how that he was such an inspiration, how his enthusiasm on the benches of both the Edmonton Oilers and the Edmonton Eskimos was an absolute inspiration. They said they loved watching him, you know, standing on the sidelines, doing what he did so well. You see, Kenny was an individual who had no filters. That means when he was excited, he was excited. And sports excited him. And when people came off the ice or off the field, Kenny was there encouraging them, and he was a real blessing. Now, Kenny, of course, had Down syndrome, but he lived his life to the fullest. And he was an inspiration to a city of 2 million people. And thousands of people attended his funeral, but more importantly, they named different monuments, and they actually have both outside the Edmonton Oilers Bell Place and also as well the Edmonton Eskimo Field. They have a statue of Kenny Moss, and also as well, they've named a street after him. So, you may think, oh my goodness, I'll never be that, popular. But you see, just enthusiasm and just, taking life to the fullest, who knows what you can do and inspire. When I was listening to that radio program, I was listening to hundreds of people saying, what a blessing, what an inspiration, and what a real individual Kenny was. So today, be a Kenny Moss or be yourself. And in that way, be enthusiastic, be happy, and enjoy your life. Every day is a blessing, and every day is an opportunity to touch people in a special way. My name is Robert Dean Steele. Thank you for joining me today. And if you like what you're hearing and seeing, I do encourage you to press the like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, as well, I want to thank all the people who have subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you for doing that. And check out my daily YouTube shorts. Every day I do videos, usually under about 1 minute, and each one of them is designed to encourage you, to give you something to think about, and also to put a smile on your face. You have yourself a great and godly day.